Hey guys, I am the Seaman235 and I'm here to discuss my thoughts on the Square Enix, or as I like to call them, squeenix, press conference for E3. Now, I know E3 at this point, at the time of this recording, is over, so this video is probably late, but fuck it. Plenty of other people are doing their E3 reactions now, so yeah. Hell, Brain Scratch just did theirs today, so, I mean, I might have to delay my E3 for the big three until probably, I don't want to do it next weekend. We'll see what happens, but I might have to delay it. But for the fillery conferences, not so much. So, for those who aren't aware of this setup by now, even though I've released the past two parts, and I'm pretty sure everyone and their grandmother has talked about E3 at this point, this is a video series where I talk about the most recent E3 of the year and do my thoughts on it. That came out wrong. Discuss my thoughts on it. I know it's a complicated setup, but trust me, stick with me, we'll get through this. Squeenix, to talk about my opinions on the conference, I would probably give it about a D. You know, it is better than EA's, because they actually showed off games. What they showed off was fine, but it felt more like a demo reel, like a trailer reel. Now, to be fair, I watched this on GameSpot. I'm pretty sure I watched the full conference. I'll do an update or redo this video if I found out I was wrong. But it was really more of a Nintendo Direct styled thing. But overall, I felt they were So, yeah, I'm gonna go in order of the, games, that were, available, which there wasn't much. First up was Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or Tomb Raider 3, it's the reboot series. We already knew that was coming. I'm not really, I mean, I guess it's okay to show it off, but I don't know, I think we've seen enough of that at this point to where, why do you bother? At least they showed gameplay, and the gameplay looked fine, so. Next up is an expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. I forget what it was called, which shows that I have a great attention span, but, you know, that's besides the point. Apparently it's having a crossover with Monster Hunter World as well, like there's gonna be some content that connects the games. I'm not entirely sure what that's is. I know there's like probably some costumes and some stuff for Monster Hunter World, maybe some expansion. I did see the trailer. I was a bit confused by it. That was actually a time where the talking heads definitely would have helped. Probably could have showed it off a bit better. Maybe there's still some details that need to be announced. There was also Captain Spirit, which we didn't see much of because we saw more of it in another conference that I'll get to when I get to it. Next up was Dragon Quest 11, I believe it is. But with that said, what I got from it was there was an error with the commentary. Like, I'm not sure if this was a part of the GameSpot recording or if this was an error on the showcase's part, but for some reason, I have no idea why, there was commentary in the background. I'll let you listen to the recording. Yeah, that happened. Again, I'm gonna go back and check and see if this was a thing for all of the other parts of the conference, in massive fucking quotes. They were about as much of a conference as Sony was. But, yeah, it's just, I'm not sure if that was a problem with the conference or from the feed I was watching. I'm not entirely sure. I know it was a problem with one of them, that's for sure. But yeah, also the voice acting is awful. I know it's a JRPG, and I shouldn't be surprised, since even nowadays JRPGs don't really have the best of voice casts unless you're like Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy, and which is weird too, because I'm like, why? Well, I mean, I know Dragon Quest doesn't do well in America, but you're Square Enix. You own Final Fantasy. You can't give a decent dub to this? And it just seems kind of weird. Afterwards, they showed off a CG trailer for a game called Babylon's Fall. I have no idea what it is. It's made by Platinum, though. So, you know, we'll see. You know, Platinum is a bit of a hit or miss studio, but when they have a hit, they have a hit. You know, if this is something they're passionate about, then I'm sure it will turn out well. I mean, Nier Automata, I hear turned out well. Speaking of, Nier Automata is coming to PC and Xbox One, which we already knew about from the Microsoft conference, but that's neither here nor there. There's Octopath Traveler, which is coming out in it's coming out pretty soon. I think July or this month. I'm not entirely sure. I know there's a new demo that was released recently, but we know it's coming out soon, so I'm not sure why they even bothered. I mean, I don't know. At least it was short, so I guess it doesn't hurt to mention. But I don't know. You could have put it in Nintendo's conference, and that's about it. Just Cause 4, which I don't care about the Just Cause series. I mean, I know there are people that do, and that's fine. I hear they're fine. It's just I've never really played any of them personally, so I've had no interest. So, but hey, you know, for those who are excited for a new game, you have a new game, and I'm happy for you. I hope you enjoy it. There's The Quiet Man, which was a interesting trailer. It started off as live action, but then it transitioned to gameplay. I don't really know what the gameplay is. I don't know what the game is. But I mean, I don't know. The way they did the trailer was kind of interesting, but it didn't really get me interested in the game, though. And last but not least, they showed off Kingdom Hearts, which I would be more excited about since it's, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3, except all of the shit we've seen was essentially a condensed version of what we saw in the Microsoft trailer. And as someone who saw Microsoft's conference first, I have no reason to care about this trailer. I mean, I saw Microsoft's conference first. I didn't see squeenix's until today, and today is the 16th. It is actually no, it's probably the 17th. Yeah, it's the 17th by now. It's Father's Day. But now you know when this was recorded. But with that said, I've seen all of this shit. I've seen the Frozen World. I've seen the Gummy Ship stuff. I'm gonna talk about that more when I get to the big stuff, because, I mean, Kingdom Hearts kind of deserves its own video, just because I am a fan of this franchise. I'm not like a super fan from like back in the day, I'm aware, but I have, ever since I started playing it in 2015, 3 years ago, I've been a pretty avid fan of it, and I've been keeping up with it enough. I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan from back in the day, but I would say I'm at the very least a newly established fan of, a hardcore fan of the series. I mean, I'm no Bizkit. I'll never be as good as him, but I wish I could be as good as him. It's the same shit we've seen, and all of it looks good, by the way. All of it looks really good. I love, you know, the Gummy Ship seems to be the same as usual, which is fine. I enjoyed the Gummy Ship in KH2, so it's fine. Frozen looks fun. It does not look like a musical world, which means it'll be decent. And, oh, Aqua was Norded. I love that that became a term, by the way, Norded. Because if you played the games, you know why, but for some context, the main villain, Xehanort, has taken over 13 vessels, and has sort of stuck his heart, his soul, essentially, inside 13 other people. So that is classified as being Norded. It's sort of like a zombie, but instead of going brains, you're just controlled by some douchey old man, played by Leonard Nimoy, or at least he would be played by Leonard Nimoy, except he unfortunately passed away. God bless his soul. May he rest in peace. Yeah, I love that that became a term, Norded. That is hilarious, and I love the KH community just for coming up with that. You are awesome just for that. But yeah, Aqua was Norded, so she is evil, I guess. But yeah, as for squeenix's conference as a whole, I mean, I could look at squeenix's conference in general, again, just to see if there was anything I missed, but I'm pretty sure I saw all of it, and it was, I mean, I love the idea that it's just games back to back, like Sony's and Nintendo's was, but Nintendo also had talking lots of talking. Sony didn't really have too much talking, except during the infamous parts of the conference. You know the ones. Trust me, you know. The thing is, I kind of think it was missing a few talking heads. You see, the problem is that the demos or trailers, they feel more like just trailer after trailer after trailer. The trailers don't really speak for themselves. They don't really have that much introduction. They come and go. And that's the big issue. Like, the details on the Monster Hunter Final Fantasy XIV crossover thing, whatever they're doing, it's a cross-promotion, essentially. What's that like? What's it about? Is there going to be more details on it? I don't know. There's no talking heads. There's no talking heads explaining it to me. Now, to be fair, you know, maybe I just don't get it because I'm not really a fan of any of these games. You know, because I haven't played Final Fantasy XIV. I hear it's good. At least A Realm Reborn is good. And I hear Monster Hunter World is good for Monster Hunter fans. Just, I've never really played it, you know? But so, you know, you could have sold me if you actually showed me some content, but I don't really know what the content is besides maybe some costumes and some exclusive creatures from both games and whatever. I don't know, I just feel like I didn't get much information from it. Kingdom Hearts was the biggest disappointment. I thought they were going to show something new in every conference it was in. Sony got better treatment of Kingdom Hearts 3, because we got to see Pirates of the Caribbean, and we got to see pirate ship battles in that one. I mean, not to spoil Sony, but holy shit, I actually thought Sony showed KH3 much better than Microsoft did. Not to say Microsoft did a bad job showing it, just Sony did a better job, because they showed off pirates, and they showed off, like, the pirate battles and how amazing they looked. Holy shit, it was so good. And oh my god, Pirates, it's fucking beautiful, man. It was just, it was really good. It was really cool. It was one of the best parts of the Sony conference, in my opinion, besides Spider-Man. But with that said, Square's conference didn't really show anything spectacularly new. And at the same time, even if it did, it would just kind of come and go, you know? It would just kind of come and go. It was just sort of a trailer after trailer after trailer. Hey, this is coming. Hey, this is coming. Hey, this is coming. And really, you couldn't have shown this shit off, like, I don't know, hats. I feel like they didn't need to have an E3 for any of this. Honestly, if you skipped it, there's really no point in watching it. I'd argue, and I know everyone will probably debate me on this, there's less of a reason to watch this than there is the EA conference. And that's weird, because EA was fucking awful, as they usually are. I would say don't watch either of them. EA's was painful to watch. This was just useless. But, you know, there was some good stuff here. It's just that it wasn't really shown off in a spectacular way. I know that people are gonna love Octopath. I know that, you know, people are gonna love the expansion to Final Fantasy XIV. Tomb Raider 3 will probably be a good game. I know a lot of these games have hype behind them, but they didn't really get me to buy them. Remember, that's the point of a presentation. They have to present the games well, and they were just kind of presented in a, yeah, our games exist, and that's it. These are happening, and that's it. And that's really lame for a conference. They came and went, and that was about it. Yeah, that's Squeenix. They came and went. It's a D+, whatever, somewhere in that range. I need to watch Bethesda, and then after that, I will tackle the big three, the ones everyone cares about, sort of.